So last year, I think it was around Christmas time, we picked up this ATOTO F7WE head unit. This guy here. And we picked this up because when we bought the truck, the stereo that was in it was VIN locked because of GM's shenanigans. And at the time, it was the only one, well, I shouldn't say it was the only one. There were others out there, but for an inexpensive head unit that could provide some form of a navigation in it, we put that one in. We soon learned and realized after that head unit, the F7, required the use of Android Auto to basically use your phone to cast so that you could do navigation. And a couple of reasons why we pretty quickly didn't like that for was we put a lot of music, as you can see, onto a USB key. And when you use Android Auto, the front USB stops working, and then it uses the audio that from whatever you're playing on your phone. Some people said that if you use the rear USB port that doesn't happen, but we never really got around to testing that, mainly because what we found was using Android Auto with the Bluetooth and the wireless, battery life decreased very quickly on the phone, and the phone also got extremely hot. So it sort of got to a point where you'd have to have your phone plugged in all the time, and then your phone would get too hot. So we were looking around, and what we ended up finding was ATOTO released another inexpensive version, but it had GPS integrated into it. It just uses your phone as a basically a data provider. So you can still use your phone and stuff like that, and I'll see how that all works once we have it installed. But basically the A5L basically gives you a GPS receiver that will plug into the head unit, and then it just needs some form of data connection to provide that. So we're putting that in the truck today, and I just thought I'd kind of show you some of the stuff that it came with, the kit that we specifically bought. So it comes with, you know, a external storage, so probably plug your phone USB into that. This is all your, these are all your RCA outputs. So basically if you want something for, like, you know, an amplifier, this one is your video in, and this is where this one's kind of interesting. So this one here is your Wi-Fi antenna. So on the F7, it's a long black bar, so it's now just this little pin wire. This other blue one here is your Bluetooth connection, and this brown one is your parking brake. So that's, if, you know, for when you have your camera, because that's what this one here is for, it's your camera. This is your power connections and low-level speaker outputs. GPS receiver, manual, backup camera and wires, mounting bracket, and head unit. So, and this is the back of it. So you can see this is where the power connector plugs, and then you've got all these other little connectors here, and for all of these guys. And then you've got this HDMI, which is an out. So you could probably put it to, I'd say probably like a remote screen in the back seat if you wanted to, maybe, I'm not sure there. GPS receiver for the antenna, and then the antenna point. So what I'm going to be doing today is going to be popping off. So we got to remove this cover, which is pretty quick, pretty easy. Once this cover is off, then it's just 2 bolts, or 2 screws I should say. I think I got 1 over here, and I think there's 2 over here, and then this whole head unit pulls out. I will confirm the power connection harness to see if it's the same between this one and that one, and if it is, that'll be quick and easy for that. plug in the antenna for the GPS, probably put that up here on the dash somewhere. We'll see what's the easiest to route, and I think that should be about it, because all the other little small wires don't have an antenna on the truck. It broke off. We tried a window mount one, but it was horrible and doesn't work, so we won't plug that in. In fact, I'll probably just take it off. It's up there in the window, it's hard to see. So yeah, so we'll get this all taken off and then we'll show you where it is. So I thought, just as I was taking this off, I'm going to assume, hence why I'm redoing this, we're doing this in a 2006 Colorado. If you're not familiar with these, this whole panel, it just pops off. I find it's easier to get at the bottom, then it comes off, and then you just pull the top. There's a connector for this on the back side. That can be a little bit of a bear to get undone. It takes two hands, so I can't really record it. But basically you just pull this out, kind of twist it, fold it up, and then you can get to the plug. Careful, it's a pretty fragile plug. Once that's out, then this whole piece just comes off. So pretty quick and pretty easy to just get at that. I just use one of these tools to free it. No issues there. It's now all off. Looks like everything is kind of barfed out here. So this is just the GM adapter, which allows basically it to interface to the truck. So I'm just going to take that off. And so now basically that's the main plug for the ATOTO, and then it runs down to the dinger interface, so the truck makes a nice ding ding noise for you. This is this here is the current Wi-Fi antenna, which, like I said, looks like a little black brick. So that gives you the Wi-Fi to the truck. And this is the microphone plug, which we have running up over to here. And then we have, this is the that external storage, which is just the plug for the other one. And I think that is it for connections, and then just the F7. And I think that's it for the connections. So now what I'm going to do is take this guy and make sure that all of these are matching up. So we need to make sure that all these colors are the same as this harness, and if they are, then basically I don't use this one which it came with, and I can just plug this one into the back of the stereo, and Bob's my uncle, and we're done. So I'm going to take a few minutes to get that sorted out, make sure everything's good there, and then if everything's good, then I'll take the brackets off the old one, put it onto the new one, and then we'll get that mounted and make sure everything works. Quick once over. Yes, this harness is the same as this harness. So the existing harness can go back in the truck. Going to grab the GPS receiver, just so we can do it quick, and the receiver. And we're just gonna go back into the truck here for a minute, and we're gonna do a quick plug-in and make sure everything works. I'm sorry, I do not have a tripod, so it's kind of tough sometimes trying to film this. So we'll plug this back into this. And then we've got this side. And we need to open up shrink wrap a bit. There. Basically, it's like these things are almost identical. Like if you looked at the front of this one compared to the F7, you wouldn't even notice the difference. I think the font is a little bit different for the ATOTO, but otherwise it's basically the same. Okay, so even though this kind of sucks because this is now a whole lot more work for me, even though all these wires are the same, this plug is actually different. So that plug does not fit into that slot. So that slot is different than it is on the F7. So that one is narrow and wide, and this one is short and tall. So I will go in the house, I will start doing some rewiring on this, and then once I have that done, then we'll come back out and plug it in and power it up. A few seconds for you, but 10 minutes or so for me. All the new harnesses plugged is all connected. The only complaint I really have about ATOTO's harness is that they use really thin gauge wire for these connections, which I mean isn't a really big deal. It'd be nicer if it was just a slightly bit thicker. It's almost like 22 gauge, 24 gauge. It'd be nicer to see it like the 18 to 20 gauge, a little thicker, but other than that, it's usually pretty good. Okay, so one thing I want to make note of before I plug this all in is one of the biggest differences between the F7 versus the F7 versus the A5 is the F7 runs off of F7 runs off of Linux, yeah, and the A5 runs off of Android. So you'll get more of the Android ecosystem if that's something you're looking for with the A5 versus the F7, which is Linux. So as an example, on the A5 you'll have applications like YouTube and stuff like that, where the F7 you'll only have that. You may have that. I don't recall if the screencast allows that or not, but basically natively the F7 does not have it, where the A5 will. So got my harness all plugged, got my harness here, so we're just going to get everything plugged in. So we can do our main harness here. So we're good there. And got the head unit here, got the plug it in, and we'll grab the keys. Key on. You can hear that dinger going off there in the background. You can see it powering up. It's definitely a little slower than the F7. Compared to the F7, this would already have been booted, but being that it is Android, I do expect it to take a few minutes longer to start, especially on the first. Anyone who's familiar with the Android ecosystem would know, yeah, as you can see there, it says that Android is starting. Anyone familiar with the Android ecosystem knows that on a fresh boot or an update, it can sometimes take a few minutes to connect, but there we go. So it is now up and running. So you can see here like YouTube, so that lets you know that, let's see if I can get a nice washed out view here of it. So there's some of the apps there. Some more there. It's fairly responsive. I'm not too concerned about how slow it's moving, so that's good. So what I'm going to do now is take the brackets off this one. Yeah, it's just the two screws on either side, and then I'll put it on this one, and then we'll mount it in the dash, and then we'll test things like the GPS, the wireless, and how like the internet sharing and stuff works. So I'll get this installed and bring you guys back. All right, so I've now got everything installed. Everything is working as it should. I'll just turn that a little bit. So you can see it's installed. Everything is working as it should. The one thing that I kind of was wondering why it was so slow was the Wi-Fi was taking a long time to connect. Once I plugged in the connector that had the Wi-Fi antennas, it was like an immediate thing. So we'll just turn the key on here. So you can see it comes up and everything's loaded. So like I said before, it does have a pretty quick, it's pretty quick. If you're used to Android, this head unit will make a lot of sense to you. It's pretty common. Swipe down functions. You know, it's got your you know, your app store here, got your back button, got your home button. Couple of things that I've noticed on this immediately. I don't know why, but it seems like the audio is a lot fuller compared to the F7. The other thing that I've noticed is that it seems to have a more granular volume. So on the F7, it seems like it would jump like, say, like 5 every time you push the button. This one is like a +1 every time you press the button. So it's not such a jarring adjustment between levels, sound levels, when you're doing a volume adjustment. And maps work. I realize that I'm not going to give away where I live on that, so you don't get to see it. But with the hotspot running, that's how the stereo gets data, is through the Wi-Fi on your phone. So if you're going to use the data, make sure you get a good data plan. Android Auto obviously is going to require the use of data, so again, it's a trade-off. You're not really saving anything on data when you're going from Android Auto to this head unit. The difference is that your phone is only using data to provide to the radio, not the Android Auto. So that's nice to have. I'm not finishing this completely off because there's a few things that I still need to do. Like I need to fix that cover, but I'm probably going to have to take the 4-wheel drive connector out. Otherwise, just going to throw a code on that. Maybe I'll do that all tonight, because if I don't, there's going to be too much of a problem. So what I'll probably do is take that in, fix it, so that I can put it back together. It'll just happen later. But yeah, so far I gotta say the A5L is a definite winner in my opinion. I like the F7. I honestly think so far I like the A5 over the F7, but time will tell. My girlfriend is, while she understands technology, she can get very irritated or very annoyed quickly if certain things don't work the way she would like it to or expect it to. So, you know, I'll get that feedback from her regarding that stuff. So we're going to leave this now for tonight. We'll clean everything up once I get that cover placed. But I think ATOTO has a pretty good contender here for entry-level head units that has navigation in it that only requires a data connection from your phone. If it wasn't for the fact that the one that we pulled out of here is going into my truck, I would probably buy this one myself. But the F7 will go in my truck. I don't use navigation that much. I don't really care. It gets driven so very little. So just thought I'd do a quick little one here showing you guys the A5 installed into a vehicle, some of the things. If you guys would like a more in-depth view into it, let me know. And if I have any issues or feedback on it, I may just post it on my community, so keep an eye on that. So just a quick little one here showing the install of this head unit. Any questions, any thoughts, let me know. If I can answer anything, I'll let you guys know as well. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one.